And then being excited about when you come out your fast. Hey, what
yeah.
are you eating when you come out your fast, right?
Yeah.
So it was just, I think more than anything, having like solid, great, fun people to do it with, by default made you want to be better at doing this and making it happen.
So that community makes a huge difference, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, granted, you got a group of people that can make anything fun.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So now, okay, it's fasting we're talking about. Well, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No hesitation for the most part. You know what I mean? Like once we got into it, because we had the group chat.
Yeah.
We had the fasting app.
Yes.
So you can see who's fasting at all hours.
Right.
So you know, like, okay, I'm fasting. It's 2 o'clock. Who's still fasting?
Right.
And you can see where they're at in their fast.
Right.
And you can encourage each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you're coming out too fast, you can post a picture of what you eating.
Right.
So man, it was huge. Yeah.
It was amazing, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, that support was amazing for sure.
And it has stuck. So here we are, it's 2024. We done survived the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was telling Joey, I intentionally put a little bit of size back on because my wife was super worried about me. So I thickened up a little bit, but you managed to keep yourself nice and lean and trim. And so when you first started, what was that like? So did you do a lunch 12 to 8 schedule? So what was your schedule when you started?
So I when I first started, I kind of dived all the way. I went with the 16 and 8.
Okay.
I've tried the 12 to 12. Obviously we've done the 24 and 48 on just those short-term ranges. I've even tried the 20 and 4, but the 16 and 8 just stuck with me. It seemed like it helped me to maintain where I wanted to be, but it also allowed me when I wanted to shed a few, I can shed well with that 16 and 8 because I would just change up my meal a little bit to be more of a low carb meal along with still being 16 and 8 and I would be able to shed down a little bit more. But that 16 and 8, I started with it. I switched up a few times to a few different things, but I always came back to the 16 and 8. And to this day, I'm still doing 16 and 8.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start your meals at 12? Is that your normal time?
Yeah, I'll start my meals at 12. If I eat a later dinner, I try not to go any later than 8 o'clock. I try not to. So if I eat at 8, then I'll start my meals at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And sometimes, listen, man, sometimes my day is going so well, I'll forget to eat. Like it'll be 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and now my window is small, so that's where the 20 and 4 kicks in. But for the most part, I start my meals between 12 and 2. It's just based on whether I eat at, if I end my last meal at 6 or I end my last meal at 8. Yeah.
Good. So I know you mentioned we got into some of the extended fasts a little bit.
Yeah.
So what's the longest you've gone water only?
72 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was 72.
Yeah,
man.
72 hours is the
Just
longest.
throw that big joker down.
Was that one of our groups?
That was
just throw down the big joker, man.
that was probably that was recently. That was probably 3-4 months ago.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What prompted you to do that?
I ate and did more than I wanted to, so I wanted to kind of cleanse my body out a little bit. Obviously, I like to cruise and I like to have fun and travel and all that good stuff. So when you're traveling and you're cruising and you're eating all these foods that you don't normally eat, you come back, you want to make sure that you kind of cleanse yourself out. So one of the things I was able to do is I powered through it. So my 72-hour fast is water, some black coffee, different things like that, so to have a different taste there. But yeah, 72 hours is the longest I've done. Now, when we had the group going, I think 48 hours was the longest we did.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So you get back and you hit that reset button.
Yes.
Now, once you hit that reset button, do you flow right back into the 16-8 seamlessly?
Yeah, so once I hit the reset button, I'll flow right back into the 16 and 8. And then obviously you all know that I'm doing the E2M also. And guess what? Guess what's a part of that?
Fasting.
And 16 and 8 is what I do in that. So I flowed right back into the 16 and 8 easily. I do my circuit trainings on, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I do like cardio and abs on like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. So, yeah.
Good. Are you where you want to be, or?
Well, I'm 175 pounds.
Okay.
Right.
So that's 35.
Yeah, I was 211.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm 175 now. I got as low as 168.
Okay.
That was just a little bit too small.
You overshot.
So at 168, because I went through something similar like that where I overshot also, and my body just wouldn't hold that weight.
Yeah.
Like, so at 168, could your body hold that?
For a little while, I feel like I could have if I really kept myself disciplined.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You had to be hardcore all the time.
Yeah, I had to be hardcore all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, if the math and the whatever's out there on the internet tells you, they would tell you, hey, you're 5'9", your frame is supposed to be 165 pounds.
Yeah.
I cannot walk around here 165 pounds, right?
No. We got bigger structure.
Yeah.
I mean, so, it is what it is.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I was driving towards that because I was reading, what they say my body mass should be. But when I got down to 168, man, it was like...
Anybody worried about you at that point?
Well, everybody was like, dude, what's going on with you,
That was my next question. What is the reaction, response?
First reaction.
First
reaction is, okay, so what are you doing? Right? And I shared this story with several people, right? And they would try, and they're like, there is no way I could do this, right? But then folks would start to say, okay, how much more weight are you going to lose? Right? But then guess what? People don't tell you until you start losing weight. So my brother, I don't know if he'll see this or not, but my brother's like, yeah, Sammy, boy, you were big, man. You were big, right? After the fact, right? And I'm just like, you don't notice how big you are until you take a step back. And then when I looked at that photo, and I show people that photo that you have, and I'm sure you're gonna show it here.
I sure will. I sure will.
Every time I show someone that photo, because that's my motivation, they're like, "Whoa, I didn't realize you were that big." So it's almost like that mirror test, where we were like, you're like, yeah, I got to do something.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone was like, okay, you look good. What are you doing? But then after a while, they're like, okay, so how much more weight are you gonna lose? Right. So that's when I got as low as that 168, Joey, and I had to really figure out, am I going to continue to lose, or will I get to a point where I'm comfortable?
Yeah, just maintain.
I looked in the group, and I saw where I put in the group 5-6 years ago. I want to be at, my ideal weight is 175.
And that's where you are.
Crazy.
That's where I am right now. I land between, I stay between 170 and 175. I'm probably lower than 175 right now, but that's kind of my top line. If I told you, I just came off of a vacation, so my top line is probably 175 or right below. When I went on vacation, I was 171 pounds. So I know I did some eating and all that good stuff, so I'm probably up a little bit now. But yeah, I at the time I said that in the group, I was already at 185.
Okay.
And I said my ideal weight, I want to be 175. So I took a trip down memory lane with WhatsApp just to see, hey, what was I saying back then? What was our thought process back then? Because this is now like the norm for us. Like I normally wake up, I don't eat breakfast,
and keep going.
And I keep going. It doesn't bother me at all. And I always remember you saying the key thing is leave the sugar out. Leave the sugar alone. I always remember you, and that sticks in my head about the the sugar piece.
Yeah.
So
I remember. So you remember how we did the spotlights? But you were one of the spotlights.
Yeah.
Definitely was one of the spotlights myself.
Yeah.
And I remember I read through, and this wasn't recent, but this is years ago. I remember looking at it.
Yeah.
And one of your biggest things was having to cut it off at nighttime.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like not eating too late into the nighttime.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's a huge thing because even if you push back and you don't have your first meal till 2 o'clock, if you eating until 11 o'clock, you destroying.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you still not doing anything.
Right.
That's right.
Right. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're eating up until you fall asleep, you're not going to be able to burn those.
You don't have enough time.
Yeah, you don't have enough time, right? So you need to cut that off, like at a certain time of day, but at least 2 to 3 hours before you fall asleep, you need to cut that eating off, right? So, and that helps because I was a big time late night snacker. And that's where all of this came from, and drinking and all that stuff that came along with it. So it's been, man, listen, it's been one great journey, man, for sure.
Has it been easy?
No.
Okay.
By no means.
Okay.
Still not easy.
Right.
I mean, but you have to be disciplined, right? And first off, let me say, no judgment here. And I'm not saying I'm just this most disciplined person, but I understand doing things now in moderations. I know what is going to make my body spike if I do it too long, and I know how to get in there and work hard enough to bring my body back down. Mm-hmm. So if you have, I would say, the foundational pieces and the resources and the knowledge and the information, you can make this work for a lifetime.
That's right.
For sure.
And it's really a journey of self-discovery.
That's right.
So you learn about yourself. You just kind of mentioned that. So
yeah,
what works for me, what doesn't work,
yeah.
What spikes this, what spikes that. And we all have different things that we're watching.
Yeah.
So that's incredible, man. That's incredible.
And you can only learn that through experimentation.
Right.
You got to try, fail, and adjust.
Right.
That's the only way to get there.
Yeah. But also think about the mental clarity, right? When you're at your healthiest, one, your stress level is coming down. Mm-hmm. Your judgment is not clouded. You're sharp. Your memory is on point. Like there's so many things that seems to be working like a well-oiled machine when your health is in its proper form. It makes you not want to go back the other direction.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, fasting, when you think about it spiritually, it's about making a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, ultimately we shouldn't feel like, you know, having great health is a sacrifice. But I mean, at the end of the day, anything that's great and worth having, it's not easy. Mm-hmm. And I think we all just need to think about the fact that, yeah, you might want to eat burgers 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. You might want to eat 15 hours a day. We all would love to do that and not gain any weight.
I mean,
stay healthy.
It tastes incredible, right?
It tastes incredible, right? But
it's delicious.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, that's just not the way life works, right? Yeah. So we gotta put the work in. We gotta sacrifice a little bit of what we want in order to obtain what we really should have.
Yeah, that's good. There's a scripture out of Romans 12:2. It's a pretty common one, but live your life as a living sacrifice.
There you go.
So don't conform to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Oh man.
So the fast way out, I never really got into the pillars or the tenets, but it's truth, fasting, wisdom, and ownership.
There you go.
The ownership is the Romans 12:2. So
renewing of the mind is renewing of the body.
Yeah, that's
Come on,
right.
man.
Living as a living sacrifice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So you'll continue to go 16-8?
Yeah, man. Listen,
okay. It's part of life now.
That's my lifestyle now. 16 and 8, man.
And wife is supportive, and everybody's good.
Yeah, she's very supportive of it. She notices my transformation for sure.
Yeah.
And oftentimes she'll ask, "Hey, so where are you at now? What's your weight? You know, let her know. Well, good, great job, right? Mm-hmm. You know, so at the end of the day, it's known that hey, Daddy or Sammy, he's not going to eat breakfast, right? He's not going to do that, right? But you know, I think when it comes down to this lifestyle,